Hello, teacher and classmates. Today I am going to be talking. My name is Maria Alejandra Ulloa, and today I am going to be talking about the concepts, differences between the aspects, tense, and voice. So, as we know, it is important to understand that to build a sentence or a clause or a phrase, it is important to understand the aspects, the tense, and the voice. For example, here we have the aspects of a sentence. So the aspect is the name given to a verb and how these verbs are used in the sentence. So to explain more about this situation, let's talk about the simple aspect. Yeah. The simple aspects are the ones that determines whether the verb is going to have an S. When we are talking about he, she, or is, we usually add the letter S to the verb. For example, in the present tense, we say Eileen studies medicine at the university. So this is a present situation, and it is a situation that is continuing going. Okay, she is doing an action that it's going to continue. Then we have also the verb in the past. We usually add the ed. For example, Eileen studied medicine at the university. Sometimes there are verbs that are irregular verbs that we do not add the ed at the end, but some of them they have the ed. For example, in the present, Nicholas wins the competition every time. In the past, Nicholas won the competition last month. So as you can see here, the verb does not have an ed. It is because this is an irregular verb. Okay. Then we have the progressive aspect. Yeah. In this case, the action is going to continue. The action has not finished, and it's something that is continue working maybe in just in a specific time, or also an action that is going to be continued. For example, we have the verb be plus the verb in gerund, that is to say that it has an ending ing. For example, we are going to show ongoing or temporary events or completed or permanent events. For example, Ruth is working right now. Yeah, so we have the verb is, that is be, and working. Yeah, so Ruth is working right now. It's an event that it's temporary because at the end of the day she's going to finish working. Yeah. And Ruth is working at the new law office. When somebody says, and what is Ruth doing to live? And we can say Ruth is working at the law office. So it's something that is permanent, that it's not completed yet. Maybe she started a new job and she's going to continue working there. Then we have the perfect aspect. In this case, we have the auxiliary verbs like have, has, or had when we are talking about the past. So in the present perfect, for example, we have the actions that started in the past but have not finished. That is to say that they can continue maybe in another time. We don't know exactly when, but something that it's going to be done sometime. For example, in this case, we have an action that already finished. Nicholas has done an excellent project. Yeah, is the project maybe it's going to be presented next week, something like that. But he already finished the project, and maybe he's going to present it in another time. My parents have traveled to Galapagos. It's also the perfect time. Present perfect. We have here the auxiliary have, yeah, because we are talking about how can I say the plural? Okay, my parents have traveled to Galapagos, and maybe in another opportunity they are going to travel again. Now we have the past perfect events that occurred in a past that were interrupted by another event. For example, the thieves had escaped when the police arrived. Yeah, so there were two actions. Okay, the first action is that the thieves escaped, and the second action is that the police arrived. So here we have one action number one and action number two. Yeah. Now, in the next example, we say she said that she had finished her test when the teacher asked her to drop it off. So the first action is that she finished the test, and then the teacher says, please give me your test, time is over. Okay. And the next one is a conditional. Yeah. In this case, is if she had studied, she would have done a better test. Yeah. Maybe she did not study enough, so she got a very bad grade or something like that. So if she had studied, it's a conditional, she would have done a better test. Okay, so as we can see here, we have talked about the aspects of a sentence. Okay, we need auxiliaries in this case. Now we are going to talk about the tense. Okay, in this case we have two types of tense. We have the infinitive and non-infinitive tense. The infinitive indicates the time when the action occurred, and the non-infinitive do not indicate the time when the action occurs. So to understand this a little bit better, here we have the past tense, for example. In this case, we have actions that already finished in a certain period of time. So, Lorena visited her mother yesterday. We are talking about the past. She visited when? Yesterday. This is the past. Then we have Lorena told me that her mother is not feeling well. So here we have the verb told me. We are not being so specific of when she told me. She told me 1 hour ago. She told me that 1 day ago, 2 days ago, last week. We don't know, but we know that Lorena performed an action in the past. Okay, Lorena told me that her grandmother is not feeling well. Now we have here the present tense. In this case, we have different events that shows, for example, routines, habits, facts, truth, or schedule events that are happening in the present time. And then they can also continue, okay, happening. For example, we have the word she goes by bus to school. Yeah, this is a routine that every day when we ask, how do you go to school? We know that she goes by bus every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until Friday. She goes every day by bus. Okay, it's an action that it's repeating every day. Then we have this, like, this is a habit. Okay, a habit is something that maybe we do not know exactly every day, every time, but it's something that we do frequently. For example, she usually eats turkey on Christmas. Yeah. So Christmas, as we know, is not every day. Christmas is once a year. So every time that it is Christmas, she usually eats turkey, and this is a habit. Okay. Then we have something else that it's a truth. Okay, the plants have roots. It is something that there's no discussion about this. We know that all the plants have roots because they need the roots to grow, to eat, to drink water, etc. So all the plants have roots. This is something that is truth, and we cannot say that is not going to happen. Yeah. Another one, in this example here, we have a fact, okay? The fact is Melina likes playing tennis, okay? This is something that it is a fact. Melina maybe have said before that she likes playing tennis. People know that she likes playing tennis, so it becomes a fact. And also to talk about scheduled events, we have here our next lesson. It's on Tuesday at 5 p.m. So yeah, is something that we are talking about the present because we are talking with the verb is in this case. Okay, and now we have the future tense. In this case, we also need auxiliary is like will, going to, and modals. Something that we have to know here is that all the verbs uh, are in the based form, okay? We cannot change the verb. It is always going to be in the based form, but we use these auxiliaries that are going to tell us that the sentence is in the future tense, okay? So we can see here the tense in general, it shows us the time when the action is going to happen in the present, in the past, or in the future. So here, for example, when we talk about will, I will study in a university abroad. Yeah, maybe when I graduate from high school, something like that, I will study in a university abroad. It's an action that is going to take place in the future. Then we have also the going to, which is also the same. She is going to celebrate her birthday in Quito Bowling Club. Okay, it's an action that it's going to be performed in the future. She is going to celebrate her birthday. Da da da. Then we have the next one. Lorena might come to Quito on vacations. Okay, maybe Lorena has vacation next month or in a few months from today, so she might come to Quito on vacations. It is something that probably is not true, but probably an action that will happen in the future. It is a possibility. So all these three examples are talking about the future tense. So far we have studied the aspects and the tense, and now let us focus on the voice. Okay, so as we know, the voice are types of contractions that focuses on the participants of an action. So we have, for example, the active voice, passive voice, and middle voice. So all these are very important depending on the context that we are talking about. We need to know who is the doer, who is the receiver, or how the action affects the receiver or the doer. Okay, so in this case, we have, for example, the active voice. Yeah, so the active voice focuses on the noun phrase that performs the actions. Okay, so in this case, it is the doer. For example, Maria called me yesterday. Yesterday. So as we can see here, we have two people that are being in this sentence. We have Maria and I have me, okay, and we have me. So there are two people. But who is the person who performs the action? It's Maria. So what did Maria do? She called me, okay? She called me yesterday, okay? So in this case, we are talking about the active voice, who is the person who do the actions, okay? Then we have the passive voice. Yeah. In this case, we are talking about the person who receives the action. In this case, the noun phrase is affected by the action. It's the person who experiences and who receives the action. For example, if we use the example before, Maria called me yesterday, I can say I was called yesterday. Okay. Here we have, for example, Chris was attacked. Okay, we are not saying who did the action, but we know who was the person who received the action. We know that something happened, in this case to Chris. Chris was attacked. but we do not specify the person who did the action. So as we can say, it is not necessary to mention or to name who is the doer, but sometimes if we want to add this information, we are going to use the auxiliary by. For example, Nicholas was congratulated by his boss. Okay, we can leave the sentence only in Nicholas was congratulated and it's going to be understood. Okay, Nicholas was congratulated. Maybe if we are in the office or something like that, we will understand the context. Okay, but if we want to be more specific, we can say Nicholas was congratulated by his boss. Okay, but the most important thing here is to understand who receives the action. Okay, and now we have the middle voice. In this case, the subject is affected by the action performed by the doer. Okay, in this case, we can say that a person can perform an action and the action is going to affect itself. Okay, for example, Raul did his homework. So, what was the action? Doing a homework. And who did the action? Was Raul. And what was the thing that he received? Maybe the satisfaction of having done the homework or something like that. Okay. Sophia took a shower this morning. So the action was to take a shower, taking a shower. And who performed the action was Sophia, and who received the action was Sophia at the same time. Okay, so in this case, the middle voice can be the doer and can be the receiver at the same time. Okay, so as we can see here, the three types of constructions are very important. The aspect, the tense, and the voices, because they are going to help us understand how to construct a good structured sentence, how to communicate properly, how to understand the dialogues properly. Okay, so that is why they are very, very important. And thank you for watching my presentation.